Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to the channel for a brand new discussion video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about something that you guys have asked me a ton, and I see in my comment sections and on Twitter and pretty much everywhere around the internet right now is, do I ever think there will be a Battlefront 3 and what would it look like? And this is something that I've wanted to go into a little bit more depth about. I've talked about it on stream and stuff, but I thought I'd make a video on it and just kind of give you guys my thoughts on whether we'll get a Battlefront 3, and if we were to get it, what kind of things would be included in the game, whether that be heroes, maps, game modes, whatever it might be. Just kind of a brief breakdown of how I think the game would work. So to answer this question, there are a few things that need to be covered, and I'll be going through them without trying to drag this video out too much. Obviously, I could go into detail in long amounts for this video, and I could do so much and talk about so many things, but I'll try to keep it concise and as short as possible. Now, the simple answer to this question, do I think we will get a Battlefront 3? Yes, I do. But does that mean in any way, shape, or form that it's going to happen? No. Basically, the way I see it is EA would be missing probably one of their biggest opportunities by not developing a Battlefront 3. However, with the Star Wars license only having a few years left on it, it's hard to see the game becoming a reality in such a short period of time, unless they'd already been working on it and keeping it hush-hush and a big old secret from everyone. Now, the launch of Battlefront 2 was nothing short of horrendous, we know this. Luke and Vader locked behind a paywall, the progression system chained by a pay-to-win system that was completely pointless and just an overall rough time for anyone who was involved with or playing the game. Fast forward 6 months, there's new progression, new ways to play, a few new maps, and the game is starting to get to where it should be. Now, fast forward a few more months and more content is being added, and then finally the announcement of the Clone Wars, which brought millions, and yes, that's not an exaggeration, millions of players back to the game. Now, I have said this a million times before, but when the Scarif update was announced, I honestly felt like we had momentum. And I thought we were about to skyrocket into a huge period of more content for Battlefront 2, like we had with the Clone Wars stuff originally, which would have been amazing. But instead, when the Scarif update came out, they announced that the content support had been, in fact, terminated, and they pulled the plug on Battlefront 2, and they pulled the rug from underneath all of us, and unfortunately it came to an end. Now, after this happened, there has been a huge outpour of people begging for Battlefront to make a comeback. Some people not necessarily in the right way, you know, pestering devs of Battlefront 2 or community managers or the EA Star Wars page, whatever it may be. There's a lot of people going about this the wrong way, but there definitely is a huge love for the Battlefront franchise. Now, in saying that, these little petitions that get spam posted on every single Twitter post, Reddit post, Discord server, wherever else they're probably, you know, wherever they could post it, they're probably not going to get Battlefront 2's support back, and I can 100% say that they won't. There will be no more support for Battlefront 2. It's time to move on. Now, it probably won't be the deciding factor in Battlefront 3 either. If Battlefront 3 was going to happen, it would either already be in development, as it takes multiple years to build a game like this, and due to the Star Wars license coming to an end at EA, they would either have to already have started it or wait until they see their license renewed and then begin to work on it for a couple of years in the future again. So one thing is for certain, these petitions and stuff, they're not going to change the result. They do show support, and you know, that's great, but they're being done in the wrong way. Spam posting them and bothering people with them is not the right way to go about it. But we may get Battlefront 3, it just either it needs to already be in development, or we need to wait until that license is renewed, hopefully, and then see where it goes from there. But one thing all this chatter does do, though, is show how many people truly love Battlefront as a franchise. These large groups of people band together to support the games that they love. People are still joining Battlefront 2015 servers and playing that, and organizing games. Battlefront 2 has millions of new players, and more people are falling in love with it every single day. Every time I get on and play, there are low-level players everywhere, clearly new to the game, which is amazing to see, but they didn't get to experience the come-up of Battlefront 2. The excitement around every content update, the feeling of a new hero or a reinforcement or a blaster at your fingertips, and like all of us, there are many things we wish that were added to the game that we never got to see. Now, there are mods out there which show off and add some amazing depth to Battlefront 2, and if you guys want, I will showcase some of that here on the channel. But if Battlefront 3 is going to happen, it's not by yelling at devs, it's not by spamming petitions on the EA Star Wars Twitter posts, it's not by bothering anyone with what you think. Instead, what we need to do is, why not try commenting what you love most about Battlefront? Start a thread on Reddit talking about your favorite things in the game. Comment and support YouTube creators like me or Sammy or Mark or whoever you need to support to do this and keep these channels around that love Battlefront. The main thing we need to do is keep the community together. Support live streamers, Niv, Anarchy, whoever you guys follow, whatever streamer or content creator you do, keep their community alive, but keep it positive. That is the main thing. I think if we do this, and we hope and pray for Battlefront 3, that maybe someday we will be able to enjoy it on our next gen consoles and PCs. Switching gears a little bit though, now that was obviously my thoughts on if we would get a Battlefront 3. If we were to get a Battlefront 3, I think it has endless opportunities. Using the assets from Battlefront 2 could be great for heroes, blasters, and animations that we already have, but a few things I would love to see, including new maps. Even if they're on the same planets that we currently have in Battlefront 2, they could be designed differently or use different parts of those planets. For example, using the arena on Geonosis for a Heroes vs Villains map, or a Cloud City map on Bespin like they had in 2015, or we could have completely new maps like Coruscant or Mustafar. As far as game modes go, I think they definitely need to keep a large-scale game mode similar to Galactic Assault or Supremacy, a small boots on the ground mode like Blast. Heroes vs Villains is always going to be a staple, but make it and give the players the ability to select whether they want to play 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, do those kinds of things to make Heroes vs Villains more exciting. And also, while you're at it, just add some private matches in there because, you know, we've been waiting. Now, I also know a lot of people would love to see Galactic Conquest as well, so maybe throw that into the lineup too. But with games evolving, I really think that they need to implement or at least discuss some type of battle royale mode. Star Wars has such an interesting and diverse universe, and given the way the gaming industry is going currently, it is headed towards such a battle royale heavy industry. It's the move right now. It's what everyone's doing. And imagine dropping into Coruscant, diving down to the lower levels of the underworld, finding blasters like the E11 or the DL44, finding old metal chest plates for armor or clone trooper armor, or even if you're lucky, you get some legendary Beskar plated armor, and you could stumble across a lightsaber in a legendary chest, which would give you a huge advantage in game. These are some really cool ideas. I definitely think it could be executed really, really well. And we know that they have some really successful games in the battle royale genre. We know EA can make a battle royale game. Most recently, Apex Legends has been one of the most successful battle royales on the market, with a futuristic feel and focus on gunplay combined with special abilities. Sound familiar? Sounds like Star Wars. So who's to say they can't do it to a Battlefront Royale? Make this a thing. But with that said, I'm getting a little bit off topic here. I would love to see a Battlefront 3 in the future, and I would love it to include everything we ever wanted in Battlefront 2. But do I think we will be seeing a Battlefront 3 anytime soon? No, not really. Am I still hopeful? Of course. But I also know that for this game to live up to its potential, it needs multiple years of development, which unless they've already started it, it isn't happening in the foreseeable future, and we may have to wait for a renewal in the license agreement with EA. So, with all this said, I hope it cleared up any questions you guys had around my thoughts on Battlefront 3. If you have any other questions that may have popped up throughout the video, or things you want me to talk about in the future, make sure to leave them in the comments down below, and I will look to cover them in some of my future videos. Last but not least, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content just like this, and to show your support for the Battlefront community. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. I will see you in the next one, and may the Force be with you, always.
The Sith are all powerful. You are no match for me.